Listen up or run for cover. Dropping knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. The real Brad Lee is dropping.
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bizzles. And today in the house, we got a real badass, don't we? Tommy Rodriguez and his whole clan. Matter of fact, I want to go through the names again. Ron, Tommy, Cody, Carter. Ron, Tommy, Cody, Carter. What was your name? Clayton. Mac. There's one more. Kaylee? Dude, you guys are seriously like a reality show. I'm serious. And so if you guys are listening, you don't know who he is. Dude, like I would say almost started dropshipping. Discovered it real early. Would that be fair?
Very early.
Tommy Rodriguez and the gang in the house. Awesome. Appreciate you coming in.
Appreciate you
Hey,
having me.
now let me ask you a question because I went to your website and I've seen you and I know you from around the circles. You make a lot of dough drop shipping. Yay? Nay?
Correct.
What's the most you ever made in one year?
1 year, just from outside of the service that we offer, around $2 million profit.
Just from posting shit online
on Amazon.
Why I hear echo in there?
Right here.
Hey, lower the volume down there. What do we got? We got a live crew out there or something? We selling tickets now? Damn, dude, you got that on 10 out there. That volume.
Is this better?
Control room. No, but a couple $1 million just posting shit
On Amazon. Correct.
on Amazon.
Yeah, I have a team that manages my stores as well.
And that's called drop shipping.
Correct.
That's crazy.
Been doing it since 2014.
Yeah, I know.
So.
You heard my show with Tiger?
I have, yes.
Yeah, I had a bunch of people apparently do biz with Tiger because of that show, by the way. So you're going to get a bunch of people doing biz with you. Because you showed Tiger how to do it.
I showed the people that he was affiliated with, because back in 2015, when I was already doing it for about a year and a half, I started coaching people. So some of the people that he was already
How'd you discover it?
I just got out of the multi-level marketing industry.
Which one?
Empower Network back in the day.
Empower
Before it just kind of tanked.
What, did it tank?
It tanked because one of the
Who ran that deal? Was there anybody there named Meredith Burkich?
Not that I can recall. I got out of that company and I bought something on eBay, and it actually came from a supplier.
Yeah.
And it's not what I ordered. It's not. I ordered that product, but it came and it was marked up in the price. And eventually I talked to the person on eBay, and before I know it, they would oh, it's just dropshipping. They didn't give me all the tips and the nuggets. But I started doing my own research. Okay, how are they doing this? Google searching, checking forums, checking everything that I possibly can. And then little did you know, I tried to do the whole dropshipping on eBay. And I actually did it for quite some time, but it was too slow for me. So I realized Amazon, the number one growing, platform to, be able to buy merchandise, was probably a better opportunity for me to be able to take my business from eBay to Amazon. And then that was 3 to 6 months after doing eBay. And here I am still, 5.5, 6 years later.
Do you value that to the traffic on Amazon?
The traffic on Amazon is just substantially 10 times more. It's 10x, so to speak.
Did you go to the 10x event?
I did not. Actually,
did you see it online?
I did.
Looked crazy, didn't it?
He had a lot of great guests on that show.
Oh yeah, dude.
But Amazon it's just a different ball game. They have the different set of rules and things that they have to abide by.
Do you think we're going to be enveloped the whole world by Bezos?
No.
Dude, Amazon is freaking ridiculous. Isn't Bezos the most richest man in the world? And he just went through a divorce and he's still the richest.
I was just going to say that.
I want to know, where does that land his wife? Is she the third richest?
I think she's actually the smart one.
Is she the third richest?
She might be the second or third.
Damn.
I'd probably put it up.
Well, they built that shit together, so she deserves half.
I agree.
Did she get half?
I believe she got somewhere in the billions. Yeah.
See, I always tell people, man, if you're going to get divorced, would you rather lose, nothing or no, I'm sorry. I said, would you rather lose $500,000 or $500 million? People always say $500,000.
course.
I'm like, not me, man. I'd rather lose $500 million in a divorce. Wouldn't you?
I wouldn't want to lose anything, but
No, dude. Would you rather lose 500,000 or 500 million?
I would probably say about 500,000.
See. I know, but if you lost 500,000, that means you only had $1 million, dude.
Okay. Fair enough. I didn't look at it from that perspective. I didn't even think about that.
Right.
But they say the number one reason for divorce is marriage. So probably should say.
Also the other wonderful statistic is like 60% end in divorce. The other percent ends in death. So you're either going to die or divorce. That's for sure.
Fair enough.
So anyway, it's not a good deal, really. Think about it.
Nobody wins in that.
Nobody wins. There's people right now going, dude, you're talking my girl out of getting married, or vice versa. But I would, like I said, I always give good advice. Like I say, don't drink. That's the smartest thing. But I'll drink. I'm just saying, like, I'm married, but I'd say don't do it.
Yeah.
I'd say it to her or him though too. Don't do it, unless of course you're all soulmates and shit. Then I'd say just don't turn the certificate into the state. That way, you can always change your mind later. But as soon as you make it all official with the state and start claiming that shit, next thing you know, if anything should happen and you do change your mind, well, now you got to get the state involved and lawyers and shit. And now you got to do what you're told, which you might as well figure is half.
Yeah. Correct.
And if you built it together, she should get half. Or in your case, not in your case, but like in the guy's case, sometimes people think I'm talking to the guests when I'm talking to the listeners. That's what's funny. But in your case, listeners, that could be the case where you're getting the half. But at the end of the day, man, if you built it together, split it. Bro, so you're not married, are you?
No, I was.
What happened? Did she get half?
She got some.
Not half?
She didn't get half.
You stashed it good?
Good lawyer.
Good lawyer. Good. You guys are fucking funny, dude.
I was
you guys have been living, I can tell.
I was with her for...
You're making money driving freaking ghosts and shit. Dawns. Running around to oith. That's funny, dude. Now you're doing it single.
Yeah. It gives me more time to focus on myself.
Oh, I gotta bomb that. That's hilarious, dude. That's awesome. And how come people don't focus on themselves very often?
I think people get too caught up in seeking validation.
Hey, see, dude, I can't even help but to give it another bomb, dude. Nobody even knows that. That's why people always say, I personally like have this little rubber band thing that says IDGAF. Most people look at it and I'm like, what do you think that means? And they're like, oh, I know what it means. I'm like, what? They're like, I don't give a fuck. And I say, no, it's the opposite. I do give a fuck. That's the difference. All right. So tell me, if you had to start all over, like right now, is there anything changing? Like from what I hear out in the world, drop shipping rules are changing and the old Amazon's getting ready to kick y'all in the dick real hard.
A lot of people have been saying that since 2014.
So is that just rumor?
It's just, I think,
rhetoric.
I think everything, whether you're working on ads, whether whether it's on Facebook, Google, Bing, you always have to adapt. And Amazon is no different. Amazon does have their strict rules that you have to live by because, let's face it, they have 75 million people coming to their website every single month.
Yeah. So
you want to be able to adapt to be able to sell on that platform because, again, it's like the number one fastest growing platform as far as selling merchandise. It's beats the top 10 competitors combined. Why wouldn't you want to get a piece of that? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, for me, I wouldn't change anything. It's just learning how to adapt to Amazon's rules. They would be really silly to just kick a bunch of people off their platform when they're making a boatload of money.
Well, they wouldn't kick you off. They'd just force you into another model that benefits them more.
Correct. They have a few different models where you can sell on Amazon, but kicking or changing the way that people do business on there would involve kicking off a lot of people because a lot of people aren't going to do anything.
Or converting.
Correct. And as long as I've been doing this, people have been saying the same thing. Oh, it's not going to last. It's not going to work. Dropshipping's going to be dead in like 2 years. And here I am now, 2020, and I started in 2014. Now,
everybody was saying it back then, and here you are millions later.
Yeah, 6 years later.
That shit didn't work.
I'm not saying it's going to be a 20, 30-year thing. But while the platform is still hot, there's so much room for people to still be able to get a piece of the pie. And
if you can make millions right now today, then jump in right now today.
I would 100% suggest
That's what you're saying?
100%.
So again, what do you show people how to do it?
So when I first got started doing it, of course, I wasn't, coaching. I wasn't training. I didn't have a service. I did it for about a year and some change before I opened the doors to a coaching program where I just taught people how to do it.
Because you can only have one store.
Correct. You can open up more than one store. You can either just call Amazon or you can use a different entity to be able to have multiple stores if you want to.
Well, why wouldn't everybody have 1,000 stores then?
Because that's going to involve a lot of setup where a lot of people aren't going to do that.
Yeah, but dude, aren't your stores making you millions?
Correct. But not a lot of people have that goal and ambition. You have to go out, create different entities, different LLCs.
I know, but boo-hoo. Don't you have the blueprints and the maps on how to do it?
Correct, but I don't teach it personally.
You don't need to teach it. You just need a blueprint of how anybody can follow exactly what you do.
Having 1,000 stores also entails that you have to have the capital to be able to run those stores because Amazon pays every 2 weeks.
So
if you don't have enough capital,
what if I do?
If you do, then
why are you assuming why would you assume they don't? We should just look for people who do.
Fair enough. Most of the people that do come to us, we do have a lot of clients who buy 2, 3, 4 stores out of the gate for my service.
And what do you do? Set them all up?
They have to do
some
some initial
do kind of like what Tiger was saying he did?
It was like, it's an automation program. I was the first person to originally come out with this program, and I'm just going to say that, however it sounds.
There must be, I don't know the industry, so there must be some haters out there.
There's a lot of people who've now, since
they're going to be like, Tommy's full of shit. You hear his ass?
Yeah.
I thought this up.
You can bring them on the show with me, and we'll talk. But a lot of people now are literally trying to mimic the same type of service and giving it a bad rep. And it's just like when you do anything, right? You do something, it works. Everyone tries to come out, a copy, they mimic, they try to think that they know how to do it when they've never even listed a single product.
Right. So there's other people out there selling
there's
know-how.
There's quite a few people who are trying to mimic what I'm doing. And some people are doing it, and there's a lot of people who are getting called out because they don't know a damn thing on how to do it.
All right, so let me ask you a question. What's your story? You said, you had a story. I want to hear it.
Well,
so there you were in Boston.
Yeah.
19 what?
87.
87.
And
you're not all from Boston though, are you? Where do you live now? Miami or Tampa?
We live in like Sarasota area.
Is that where y'all met?
Yeah. Gym rats. We met in Thailand. He's my camera guy, yeah. And for me, my story was, growing up, my father wasn't around a lot. So growing up into my teenage years, I was, breaking into houses. I was getting into fights. And I was literally in and out of juvie from the age of, 13 and a half, 14 to about 17. And at that point, my mother kicked me out of the house. She said, look, you're going to have to learn how to grow up and be a man. Because she couldn't obviously face the fact that I was 17. And she kicked me out. And, back then, obviously, I thought, oh, my mother doesn't love me. Like, why would you kick me out? We live in Boston. Do you know how cold it is outside right now? Like, where do you want me to go? Looking back on that, of course, that's probably been one of the best things that's happened to me because it made me have to adapt and learn how to be a man. So I was homeless for quite some time before I met my ex-wife, who she did actually take me in, brought me under her wing, so to speak. And but I struggled to keep a job. Like I've always said, I've had more jobs than birthdays, and I thought I could climb the corporate ladder by working I was a car technician. I've worked in blue collar industries. I've worked retail. I've worked sales, and every single thing. Either 3, 6, 8 months, I'd quit, I get fired, and I was just being underpaid for what I felt like I was worth. Even back then, like way before entrepreneurship, just you want me to work my butt off for $8.25 an hour or $9.25? Like this isn't worth being told what to do. Like I'm wasting all my life, my time, just for the pennies.
Dude, it's funny that you say that because when I think of minimum wage, I remember when it was like $3.15 or some shit. It's I'm 51. How old are you?
32.
32 years old. Minimum wage. You've worked for minimum wage.
Yes.
How do you like it?
Was the lowest I've
Was
gotten.
it hard work or easy work?
Most of it was just like working in like a Publix, like a Market Basket or Wendy's or Burger King. Very minimum wage type of jobs. Anyways, that really wasn't meant for, at least for my opinion, like to be an adult. That stuff's usually for people coming out of like high school or something like that just needs some type of income. But that's all I thought I could find back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And but again, I was at every single job that you could think of, and it was until about 23, 24, March 4th, 2012. Remember that day like it was yesterday. That's when the day when I got a tweet on Twitter about making money online. And I was like, what is this scamish, schemish stuff that I'm seeing? Like, I
Twitter?
didn't know. It was on Twitter. Yeah, it was a guy was tweeting to me with this software, like, make 200 to 400 a day. And I was like, okay. Like, but I was skeptical, but I was also broke. So obviously my skepticism still allowed me to check it out. Checked it out, talked to the person. And the first thing that I got involved in was CPA marketing. Cost per acquisition, basically driving traffic to affiliate offers. And, I got involved. I checked it out. I made no money the first 3 days. And I felt like I was just, working like 10, 15, 20 hours. And I was kind of ready to throw in the towel. I was like, 3 days in, like, why am I not rich yet? Like, why am I not making 200 to 400 a day? Anyway, so I did that for about 3-4 months. And again, obviously at that point, I was obviously starting to make like $400 to $600 a week. Like I was just calling people on Craigslist, like people that were looking for jobs, trying to sell them this, Netflix free trial or Blockbuster free trial and all this other stuff. So I was working literally at that point about 18 to 20 hours a day before I stumbled into multi-level marketing. And, they had a package where it was like $1,625 back in the day. And they're like, if you don't go all in, you're a wussy, and stuff like that. You don't buy all the packages. That's literally their logo. That was literally the saying. Go all in, don't be a wussy.
Exactly. $1,625 was their get in?
$1,625 to buy all their packages. It was based on a blogging system where you could use it to maximize whatever you want to sell. So if you're promoting, tea or weight loss, you can use their platform to rank on Google and be able to sell what you want to sell. And basically they allowed you to be a customer of their products. And if you wanted to promote this service, you could. But I basically maxed out my credit cards. I bought all the products. I booked a ticket to go to, it was actually San Diego for their first event. And like 3-4 months later, and keep in mind, at this moment, when I joined the multi-level marketing, I was about to have my first kid, which is my daughter who's 7 years old. And my ex was like, you're maxing out credit cards when we're about to have a child. So she's like, we could use that money for food. We could use that money for diapers and Pampers. And I'm like, man, we're going to figure it out. Like I just had faith. I really had no other choice. I could sit there and just use it for what we need, or I could use it to try to make more money. And at that point, I started listening to motivational stuff, Eric Thomas, Warren Buffett, Tony Robbins. I just started going on YouTube and listening to a lot of stuff to try to change my mindset to make sure that, I was on the right path. Anyways, long story short, my daughter was born. 2-3 months later, I went to the event, and I saw people on stage talking about making $100,000 a month, and I'm like, "Who are you? Like, who are you? I'm like, not envy in a bad way, but I'm looking at it from a perspective like."
This was at the Empower Rally?
Yes. Yeah. And really, to me, it wasn't the event that changed my life, because I don't feel like events do. I think it's the people you get to connect and link with and be able to mastermind with. And that event pretty much kind of opened my eyes to the possibilities, even though I know I couldn't grasp making $100,000 a month since I was only used to making $18,000-$20,000 a year.
Where were you at? Where's this? Florida?
No, I was living in the Boston area at the time.
Still at this time?
Yeah. I didn't move down to Florida till about 3.5 years ago. I still try to go up so I don't lose my accent. I don't, I like being distinguished. So when people hear me talk, oh, you're from Florida? No, you sound like you're from Jersey and New York. That's what everyone says. Nobody ever really guesses Boston.
Well, that's because Boston's more like Boston.
Yeah, I might be losing it a little bit. My blood has thinned out a little bit too, so I don't know. But anyways, the event pretty much fast forwarded, and I went through knowledge training, how to market. And before you know it, probably 3 to 6 months after the event, I started making my first 5-figure month, like $10,000 a month profit.
Because you joined and did the whole MLM
I started going through the knowledge. I started connecting with other people, learning how to get leads.
But you clearly signed up as a distributor and joined the cult.
I pretty much. So, when we had the event, it was like a little cult party.
Sure,
something like that.
Dude, the cult, I believe when I say that, it's more like culture. Like, again, when you get into an MLM, everybody in there is all fired up about the opportunity and yak, yak, yak. The question is who's going to make excuses and who's going to get the job done? Because MLMs obviously work, dude.
They do.
Yeah, like Warren Buffett owns MLMs. Like there's some, I forget what it's called, Pampered Chef, I think.
Okay.
Look it up. Warren Buffett owns that bitch.
I didn't even know that.
Dude, MLM is a good opportunity for average folks.
I think it's a good way to be an eye opener.
Well, no, I mean, like if you're a regular person, because again, your whole story sounds like mine, but like I'm a regular dude, but you can come up with $1,500 anywhere. You borrow it from your grandma, do something, but as long as it's a legit one and some hard work and follow the plan, like again, become a product of the product, and all that shit to do.
Yeah,
next thing you know, dude, you just keep doing it loud enough and you start to make recurring revenue. And then next thing you know, man, you're either a Pied Piper or you're not. And if you're not, get behind one. And if you are, sing, and run. And frickin' next thing you know, I'm a triple diamond blue Hawaiian.
World Ventures.
Yeah, whatever I am. But like it's a good thing. You got your start there.
I think I never look back on it. Like if people do ask me about MLM, like I do tell people like going to the events and learning to find a product in a company like that is you're already leveraging someone else's hard work. You're leveraging a CEO who already built this sustainable business model. So you pretty much take the legwork out of doing that. Yep. Now you just get the opportunity to be able to promote and make money as an affiliate. So as long as you truly believe in the product, whether you're using it or you're servicing it to people, or you can just find enough people that suits the demands of that product, you can do very well. And I think once you leverage that a little bit enough, you go out and build your own personal brand on whatever it is that you're trying to do. Use that as like a stepping stone to get where you need to get to.
So you're in Boston. You started to succeed a little.
A little bit of
How much were you making then?
10, 12,000 a month.
Okay.
Profit.
Automatic, or you had to go grind?
It was residual because I had enough clients at that point that I was growing it. But of course, back then it was my first time making any real money, what I consider real money. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know how to act with that money. So I was
10 to 12 grand a month?
Yeah. I didn't know how to act. It was my first time. I was new to
Dude,
money.
I still don't know how to act. Don't worry about it.
I still got maturing to do. But I spent a little bit more than I should have when I was making that. I thought, it was gonna last forever.
Yeah, but see, you stopped, and I've kept going.
Yeah. And it was.
At least you've learned, though. What do you do now? You buy units. Yeah. Cash flow assets.
Correct. So one of the outside things of.
See, if I would have learned that at your age, dude, holy shit. See,
I wish I learned it even like 10 years ago.
Dude, I wish I'd have learned it 10 years ago. Shit. I'm just looking at it in the last 3 to 4, and it's like shit.
Should have got a piece of that.
Well, dude, I mean, if I got back all the money I spent trying to impress people, it would be an impressive amount of money.
Yeah.
But it's gone, and no one gives a shit. So it's like, dude, if I could just rewind, I'd be like, oh shit, take that, cash flow assets. Right now, I'd be like sitting way prettier.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter as long as when you cash out, you got 9 digits.
That's the goal.
Okay.
I got 2 kids that depend on me, so I have no choice.
I know, but and I got insurance just in case. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like if I die on the way, done. I accomplished it. If I die, everything I'm working for is a fact. So all I got to do is die to hit the finish line. But the question is what do I got to do when I'm here? As long as I got freaking enough money rolling in to like do anything you want. What's that? Let's be real. 100 million a year is plenty, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So that means you need to invest $1 billion at 10%. That's not hard to do. Where's the Billy? Huh?
Got to get, Yeah.
Yeah. So, dude, you're on your way.
Yeah, I have like I said, outside of the Amazon, I do have.
What would you say your net worth is right now?
Last year alone, it was. I mean, again, we did 24 mil, I believe.
That's good.
Not too bad. I still got a long way to go, man. I still.
Well, if you're just and all that's just from helping and
that's
coaching,
from the service,
that's you doing it and you showing other people to do it.
Well,
and I'm sure you get a piece of theirs.
I get a cut that's for the team. My initial cut is the money up front.
For the team, that's funny. But like if I have you help my store, you guys take a piece, don't you? To like
We
do
get
it,
a 70-30 split, but
to
that's not
manage
for
it.
me.
Who's it from?
That's
Not you personally, but like someone gets it.
because
I don't get it.
multiple people are going to be running your store at a certain point when you get to that 70-30 split.
Gotcha.
So multiple, as my buddy Grant said, a bunch of bangies, so Bangladeshans. So I'll just use his words. But yeah, they're my team overseas. We have over 200 VAs.
Damn. Dude, hey, let me just tell you, the other day I was talking about a VA. Dude, I might have all VAs here pretty soon. Like, damn, you can have a VA pretty much do anything now.
Pretty much.
As long as it's, digitally.
As long as they're coachable and teachable, of course.
Dude, listen, like for example, I could say, hey, do me a favor, go identify the top 5 targets and stock them for 5 days and give me all the intel on them. And a VA would just sit there and do all the Facebook stocking and reading and shit, and you're just paying them like, whatever per hour. 5 days later, you get intel. Let's say you owed her, what, $200-$300, maybe? Even cheaper than that, right? $1,400 for 40 hours a week, isn't it?
It's pretty cheap especially depending on what country you get them from. I've been working with.
Yeah, but still, $1,400 for 40 hours. Like that means she'd spend 20 hours doing that. So that's $700 worth of intel. Now you've got 5 targets fully,
ready to go.
Yeah, so like you can leverage them to do that. Or what else? Set reservations. What else does a VA do?
At least for our service, I mean, you can find a VA to do anything, whether it's Facebook ads, Google ads.
Yeah, but what should
Amazon.
What should you get one for? Like to me, I'm thinking, well, shit, dude. If I want to order flight, like I have a real
you can even
assistant.
hire one just to get.
I know, but I have a real one. But like she can go get food. A VA can't. But now a VA can freaking get Uber to bring me my damn
Yep.
food. Like nowadays, it's almost like everything. You don't need anything. You can literally be a solopreneur and have 1 million people in your company.
Yeah.
As a solopreneur. Why? Because you're leveraging technology and social media and freaking, like, again, dude, you're making a ton of money because of Amazon, dude.
I thank Jeff Bezos for that.
Yeah. I know a dude that makes a shit ton on Amazon, and he's in a lawsuit with Bezos, he says. I always say, dude, I don't like talking about it. My phone's listening.
Yeah.
Like Bezos can hear us. Like, you think Steve Jobs died? He didn't. Bezos killed him.
Jeff Bezos is trying to dominate.
Hey, and by the way, obviously that was a joke. I don't want no black helicopters showing up. Yeah. Project Echelon has been listening. But yeah, total joke. Total joke. Sorry, Jeff. But no, dude, he's getting like he's the richest man in the world. Like to me, that would scare me. Not to be the guy, but to be an enemy of that guy. Like imagine if you had trillions of dollars and someone pissed you off.
He'll be able to do whatever he needs to do to get it done.
It's like, dude, you piss off Jeff Bezos, he'll buy your company just to fire you. And when you find another job, he'll buy that one and fire you. And like he will follow you around. You're done.
Yeah, you ain't safe.
If you find someone that you love, a hot girl that you can, at least live in a tent out in the woods with, guess what? He'll offer her fucking $50 million. She'll dump your ass. He'll have you all ways possible. That's just crazy to think about. He's the richest man on earth. Is that the truth? I'll bet you it's not.
I believe last time we checked, he was number one.
I'll bet you it's not the truth.
I bet there's just probably people that aren't in the media or the spotlight.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about.
That might have more money.
I guarantee you there is. There's people that are saying, yeah, say he's the richest. We don't care. Because if you're real smart and you are the richest, you wouldn't want anybody to know you literally are the richest person on earth. Right now, everyone thinks it's Bezos.
Could be people in Africa or Dubai, Middle Eastern, wherever. That could just
It's
be
probably Middle
times.
East.
Yeah.
It's probably in the Middle East.
All the oil and just fields and everything out there too, especially.
Dude, so you started kicking booty. When did you make the jump? Because you're not still doing MLM.
No,
are you?
No, I did. I ended that in about late 2013.
Yeah, and you got up to about 10, 12. Has that died down, or is your residual still coming?
I mean, I'm not in that company no more. I haven't got a paycheck from them in so
long.
I
thought once you build in the MLM, they last forever.
That's what I thought too.
Your kids will get some of this.
One of the owners literally went crazy, and then the other one had some type of family emergency, so he had to walk.
So the company's out of business.
Yeah,
well, that's why you're not getting a check. Otherwise, they'd still owe you.
If people were still paying for the prescription.
Of course, if was a good product or no. I thought it was Power.
It was good. And Power?
It wasn't Power Company?
Huh?
It wasn't a Power Company? No, there's a MLM Power Company. I'm not even joking.
Oh, no,
I think it was called
Empower.
Yeah, I know, but I think this one was called like Empower or some sort of power. This is Empower as in what?
I believe
mindset shit.
Yeah, and empower people.
Empower them.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like Empower.
Oh no, not
there's a MLM Power Company.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, and Meredith Burkich. That's why I said Meredith Burkich. There's a Power Company where I sign up and now I come to you and I'm like, dude, what are you paying for your power bill? And you're like, I don't know. And I say, let me see your power bill. And I show it to you and I'll be like, dude, I'll save you 20% of that every single month for, less. And you're like, what do you mean? And boom, I all of a sudden sign you up on Power. I get the cut and your bill goes down. I couldn't believe it. They always try to recruit me, but that's the last I looked into it. But that's the Empower, but it ain't Empower.
Did you sign up?
Fuck no.
Oh, okay. Well,
dude, if I signed up for an MLM, listen, I'd rather start one. Why? Well, because I already know how they work, dude, inside and out. If I did any MLM, I'd be one of the most successful people in the joint. But because I know that, why wouldn't I just start my own?
Yeah, that makes sense.
What products out there are so fucking good, huh? That you just can't go, here, look, I want one like that with a better looking label. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like right now, there's this shit I take from Prove It. You heard of Prove It?
Yeah.
The keto company?
Yeah.
So, and we do, they train people in Prove It with Lightspeed. So I take their cream. That cream's freaking good, dude. It's a keto cream. So anyway, you literally, I'm paying as a consumer probably $90 a box for cream. Well, I know the guy that actually owns all that and produces it, Terry LaCour, like big dude in the MLM industry. He'd give it to me for $7, $5. So like $90, $5. And if I'm giving Terry $5, that's because he's making some.
Yeah.
So what's he making it for? $2? Well, I said, okay, so all it does is it comes down here and it goes, boom, this way it's got your label on it. That same exact product would go this way and put your label on it. And yours is called Love Juice and yours is called, Moon Juice. And it's the same shit. Exactly. So you just pick one. Matter of fact, Terry probably owns competitive brands, meaning like he owns this one and then this is its rival. He owns that one too.
Do you do the keto diet?
I do. When I want to diet, I do keto and the fat drops away. But then I always get, I don't look pretty good. I don't need to be working out so much. Shit. So then I chill and get a little fat. And I'm like, damn, I'm getting fat. And I,
jump back on it.
Keto just carves it right off. I'm on keto right now. Why? Because I'm carving it off. I'm going the other way.
There you go.
Come back in 3 months, I'll look like you guys. I got to get the nipples up about another 1/4 inch this way. They're like freaking, I'm like, yeah. But I'm 51, man. So I get it. I get a pass. Y'all are young. So when did you make this jump? You're making 10 grand a month. How did you get screwed? They went out of business and then what? You hit the skids again?
Before they officially went out of business, I left. I left the income. I was like, look, I don't feel right even promoting this anymore. One of the main guys is leaving. They changed like so many different.
You basically said, hey, don't give me no money. Keep my name out.
I still got paid. I still got paid because I paid for my subscription. And as long as I paid my $20 a month for my affiliate, I still got paid for whatever was left over to dry it out.
Right.
I told my people that I was leaving, and some of them wanted to still stay and use the service and the products, and that was fine with me.
Don't worry about it. You don't need that.
Okay. And then I was realizing I need to get into something else because I knew that income was eventually going to dry up, right? So then again, 2014 came, and that's where the dropshipping business model came into play. And again, it's crazy because I look back that it's been like 6 years now, and it's like all the doubters and the naysayers and the haters, it's not going to work long, it's not going to be sustainable. Yet 6 years later, it's still worked. Yes, Amazon has changed some things to make it more difficult, but what platform hasn't made something where they need you to change how you do business?
Yeah, because they learn new things or they tighten things.
And then you just learn how to, I live by you either adapt or you perish. And at the end of the day, I just have to, every time they make a change, adapt to the point where one day they're like, you know what? We don't want any sellers on Amazon anymore, which would be obviously stupid because they're making 15% of every time you sell an item. So they're not gonna actually physically give everybody the boot off their platform because it's stupid. You know how much money they would lose?
Well, oh yeah, I was telling you. So this guy that makes money on Amazon, he says that what's his name, Bezos, puts his buy button on his shit. Like in other words, I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, I look up something, and then you click the buy button. Well, that buy button can go anywhere.
Yeah,
obviously.
it's called the buy box.
Yeah, the buy box. So he says that like he'll build up this big, cranking the money, and then all of a sudden, boom, Bezos puts his buy box on it.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you guys doing? They're basically,
What,
pound sand, and he's like, dude, this ain't right. This ain't right. So he supposedly got lawsuits against Bezos and says, dude, Amazon's dude, if you start making real money on Amazon, they'll come and just Amazon will come and just copy whatever the hell you're doing.
What they do is,
or they'll buy you. Like they're huge, like scary huge from what I hear. Are they?
They are huge, but that's when you are doing more specific, like some type of FBA, which is where you're shipping the products into Amazon. And
is that an FBM model?
No, FBM is the dropshipping business model that I do. So the model when you do FBA and you have the buy box, and if they don't have something in their own catalog and they see that is a hot selling item, oh yeah, don't get me wrong, they will come in and be cutthroat, and they'll be like, okay, we see this product is doing really well, we're gonna order our own products and slap our own label on it, and we're gonna dominate that product. That's just how they are. But with how many new products,
then you say okay.
With how many new products though that come into the marketplace, you can't really saturate it. Because there's new products that come into the marketplace.
Where are you finding them? They're not in Wuchang, China anymore.
No, we use U.S. retailers.
Right now, Wuhan province and all the Chinese
with the coronavirus
shipping. Oh, dude, it's all shut down, isn't it?
Yeah, from what I hear. But again, that's
drop shipping's got to be.
That doesn't hurt my model.
It has to hurt somebody's model.
It might hurt retailers, but unless the retailers actually stop, shipping out products, then that would hurt. But till they do that, I'm going to keep doing what we have to do to keep the business sustainable.
That's the way you do it, dude.
I don't worry about the things that could happen or could go wrong.
See?
I worry about trying to find a solution.
See, that's why you're successful, bro.
It's just, I read this saying before, you cannot get rich by making poor decisions.
That's correct. It's poor choices, but yeah.
Yeah, poor choices.
Yeah.
And
you can't get rich making poor choices.
You have to at some point be able to take that leap of faith. And one of the things I think for me is I've never let the fear of failure hold me back. I've never let something stop me. Oh my God, what if I lose this money? Even with the multifamilies that I invested almost $2 million in recently. That's been like last 4 or 5 months.
Well, that's because you got wise. Now you understand money. Yeah.
But I still did think like, okay, what if I lose it? But at least in my mindset in any business or any investment that I'm doing, if I cannot afford to lose it, I'm not going to do it.
Well, not only that, bro, but you aren't going to lose on real estate.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's just overall just going for any type of investment, period, whether it's
but you're willing to risk is what your point is.
Yes, correct. And I think anyone that's listening to this, like when you invest into any kind of business, any kind of service, any kind of training, if you can't afford to lose it, don't do it.
How about microphones?
You can't afford to lose it. I like that. I don't know. You might need a new one.
Oh, that's just the win thing. Like we used to wear these headphones. I'm like, why are we wearing these? There's no reason for it unless you want to hear this.
Boom.
So I'm thinking, well, why I got a bunch of headphones on then? And then like these, I don't know what they do, but
they look cool.
I think they look cool.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's not to not be optimistic when you're doing an investment. I think it's just understanding the risk and the liability that comes with any kind. You could do your due diligence all you want. Yeah, an investment could still go bad. Businesses fail every day, but obviously there's a lot of businesses that do very well every single day at the same time. So it's just about making that smart, educated decision and doing your due diligence to know if I invest this $500,000 into this, if I lost it, am I going to go on the street tomorrow? Or, hey, what if that 500,000 turns into $1 million? So I think for me, like one of the biggest things I've learned is just, take the chance, take the chance, whatever it is you're doing, do your due diligence. And if you feel it's a right fit for you, do it. But when you're getting into anything, just make sure that if you lost it tomorrow, you're not going to be on the street, Again,
well, sometimes even if you are.
Yeah.
Because I say, you got to take a chance.
Risk it.
I did this little talk one time. I said 5 factors of success that I look back and rely on. One of them was you have to take a chance because most people won't. They're scared. They're worried about letting go of what they have to go for what they want when they don't even want what they have, but they're afraid to lose what they don't even want. And it doesn't make sense, but they're at what they are. So they don't take a chance. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Got to take a chance, dude. You're going to work for someone who did.
That's what almost 8 years ago, again, like I said, in the next 4 days, it's going to be like kind of like, I'm not going to say 8-year anniversary for me, but yeah, kind of like an 8-year anniversary for me for when I started this whole entrepreneurship. And again, I had a baby on the way. So to me, this stuff was scary. And it was foreign to me. Like, I didn't know anything. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know where to go. I just knew that, working the corporate jobs wasn't for me. And I knew I wasn't getting anywhere by working the corporate jobs. And I had to get myself out there. And no matter what
Did you have a corporate job?
No, I just got laid off. Like the last 2 jobs I had in the beginning of 2012, I had one for 3 months.
What were you? What was a corporate job?
I think my last job, I was a tire technician, changing oil on cars and tires and rotating the tires and just boring stuff. See,
when I think of corporate job, I'm thinking of a suit and a tie. Had a bunch of corporate jobs.
I worked at a place called, I think it was called NTB, National Tire and Battery. And I was even telling the people when I was quitting the job, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to pursue, something. I can't do it here. And people are like, blah blah blah, let us know how it works. And then shortly after, I text people after. I think I got like fired or let go because something happened with the oil on one of the cars or something like that. I think I messed up, right? I think something like that happened. Anyways, so it was like, I don't know, weeks later, I was looking into making money online and told people, they're like, oh yeah, let us know how that goes.
Oh yeah, that's a pyramid, bro.
Yeah, like I was like,
have you guys ever heard that?
Oh yeah, I heard it all. Making money online, it's a scam. No way you could do it. Broke friends, families, neighbors, every single person. When I realized a long time ago, sometimes it's best to.
You're going to jail. You ever heard that one?
I have not.
See, I've even been told with some of my harebrained ideas, dude, you're gonna end up in jail doing that. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
I'm giving people a good deal on freaking new motorcycles. What do you want from me? That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. People just have a tough time accepting that you're trying to, better yourself while they're just staying in the same place.
Yeah.
It's no matter what you do in this world, you could cure cancer. People will still hate you for it. Doesn't matter what you do.
They'll say it's a scam, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They'll say you're just rich ripping off poor cancer patients.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. And like I said, to me, like one of the biggest things I've learned and, is just whatever it is you're trying to do, just go for it. Stop letting the people get in your head.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, it's your life, not theirs.
You feel like you don't care what people think?
Not in a negative, not in a way that's gonna stop me from moving on with my life.
So what do you think when what if someone's thinking, oh man, look at him, he thinks he's cool with the tattoo and the arm sleeve and shh. I mean, you ever see that guy in the video where the guy comes up and goes, pfft. You ever see that?
I think so. I think I even had
that guy. What if some dude just walked up and went, psh.
Maybe I'll have to. I'm right back.
But if you did that back, you would care.
True. Good. That would imply that there's some level of.
You would care if you pshed them back, because if you don't give a fuck, it's like, dude, your opinion of me is none of my business.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's easier said than done. You care when everybody wants to be liked, don't you think?
I think they do, especially by a certain audience. But I think there's also a certain level. Like for me, it's like the less fucks that I give a shit, the happier I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's true.
I'm happier when I don't care what some negative mindset person would think about, what I'm doing with my personal life, because it doesn't stop me from doing anything. Well,
exactly. And not only that, but usually the person in any relationship that cares the least is in the better position.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Repeat the question.
Huh?
Repeat the question. Can you reword that? What did you say?
In any relationship, the one that cares the least is in the best position.
I think because they're not allowing what the other person.
No, it's because you're in the best position if you care the least.
Okay.
In a
I
relationship.
guess I was thinking in terms of a relationship. Okay.
Now let's say you're dating this girl.
Okay.
And you can take her or leave her. And she starts nagging, and you don't really like nagging. And you say, hey, stop nagging. And she says, or what? What would you say?
I mean, there's a lot of things.
If you didn't care, you'd be like, or beat it. next thing you know, you'd have a new girl and you wouldn't even care because shit, you don't care. But if you cared and she said, or what, you'd be like, well, honey, you complain a lot and I just don't want to hear it anymore. And next thing you know, you're tolerating this thing that you're not, all because you care about what people think, or you care more than that person does. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's a certain level that you would care about when it's coming from somebody you actually care about.
Right.
Where if it's just like some random person trolling on the internet, like even a lot of your videos that I watch, I love when you just call out the comments in the section. You go through, you do your video.
Those are hater shine.
Yeah, you're like, dandy. And it's like, and they just say some weird stuff on your videos and you repeat them. And I can't stop laughing because these are just people who have, no mind and no business. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, these people just even on certain my posts, sometimes there's like on my Instagram or social media, I'll post a picture just to piss people off, just because I want to. And it's not necessarily the people that I care about. It's the people that are literally just watching your every move, hoping that you're gonna fail, and you just stand in front of your Rolls Royce, you stand in front of your house like it's cool, and you just to piss them off. Every once in a while I might do. That's kind of like what you do with your videos when you call them out. Kind of
yeah,
like
but you don't. You can watch all my videos. You don't see me in any cars and houses, do you?
No, not that I check.
No, everybody says, dude, why I always see you behind your desk? I'm like, because I'm always behind my desk.
Always working.
Yeah, like that's what I do all fucking day. What do you want? I'm not. That's not a set. Like that's what I'm doing all damn day. That guy films it, and then some team grabs a few chunks and drops them on the internet. So to me, it's easy.
I love all the content you produce, man. It's just.
But you're right, dude. The comments and shit. If you care about what people think, I'm telling you, you're at a disadvantage.
It's just gonna get in your head, and it's gonna stop you from leveling up to the next level in your life. I'm at a point where my business and other few things that I have going on, so much momentum and so much growth and things that I'm trying to do to keep getting to that next level, because I'm not complacent. And like I said, I've been doing this for quite some time. Like the service that I've been doing it for over 2 years.
Well, I'm still confused. Like you made 10, 12 grand at this place. You started doing
the multi-level marketing.
Yeah, and you ain't rich at 10 or 12 grand a month.
I thought I was back then.
Well, but
that was
weren't.
A lot of money to me.
Yeah, even if you thought it wasn't. And so you couldn't have done too much. You weren't driving Rolls Royces.
Oh, no, I was not.
You weren't living in big badass houses.
I was driving probably a Pontiac back in the day. Pontiac G6.
Point being is 10, 12 ain't that much, even back then. So you thought you were making a lot of money compared to what you were making, but you weren't. But that is good, solid recurring revenue. And then how did it end, though? That company took a shit, or you saw it coming, you quit.
They had, like, their main business was based around a blogging system. And they changed their whole blogging platform to the point where it was super unattractive. It wasn't ranking on Google anymore.
So you saw the writing on the wall and you said, I'm bailing.
I'm pretty much checking out.
So did you have a big bank account, or were you broke?
No, I mean, my bank account was better than when I started, but it wasn't six figures.
But when you quit, you were like, shit.
I was comfortable, but I was nervous that I could have just went back down to zero.
Well, you could have if you didn't keep working.
And it actually got to a point, I think it was like 3 months, I got really complacent, though. I was complacent, like I just wasn't doing anything.
So you clipped the MLM, you got a little bit.
And then I lived off the income for the next probably 2 to 3 months, and then that's when I probably started diving into what can I do next? What is my next move?
Okay, so that's where we pick up. And then how'd you pick the
whole dropshipping? Back then, I was looking into commodities. I was looking at IPOs. I was looking into, again, with the store, with the eBay thing, with the whole dropshipping. This guy sold me something. It was like $200.
Are you married right now, by the way?
No, I'm single.
No. I mean, like at this point in time. Because we're walking through. You were making 10, 12.
At that point in time, I was with my ex-wife. I was with her married for 5 years. Yeah, it's possible I wanted to. Because I got married in about 2011.
Okay, so you're married right now. Is she bitching and moaning that you just quit this whole thing, or that it's taking a crash?
She knows that I'm a Leo.
Is she working?
Are
you sole provider?
She took time off because we had our baby.
So that 10, 12 is all you guys got coming in.
But she did not stop. She probably went back to work per diem, like probably when I was about to quit the whole multi-level marketing. I'm saying in the beginning when I first got into the making money phase, she was out of work.
Okay.
So.
And then you quit the MLM. Did she bitch and moan at all?
She's like, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "You trusted my judgment enough."
But you weren't panicked. You guys weren't sitting there fretting.
No.
Okay.
No. We were okay. We were doing all right. And again, like I said, like we said, it's not a lot of money, but for somebody that made $20K a year, making $10K a month, a 6-figure income was okay for me back then. But again, still not a lot of money.
So then you discovered drop shipping, mastered it, and then started showing people, and now you've been making money ever since.
I probably open the doors again. I started in 2014 for the drop shipping, and I probably did it for about.
I would imagine when you started, you were making nothing. Correct?
Oh no! I wanted to break my computer every day. My
but
laptop.
you couldn't be making money when you started.
Oh no!
Because when you start, everybody starts with an empty account. Correct?
Of course.
Everybody.
You don't start off by just.
Because I got a store.
Huh?
Old Tiger had me figure out how to whip up my own store, but now it just sits there and whacks my credit card like $50 a month or $40 a month. So I got a store. I'm an authorized store, but nothing's happening with it. But anyway,
that shouldn't happen.
Well, I know, but that's because like when I did that drop shipping thing that he was on the show about, everyone keeps texting me, was that thing real? I'm like, not yet, but it's my fault because I just didn't do it.
Yeah.
So then I finally got ready to go, okay, let me do it. And I booted it up, but then he doesn't even do it anymore, I don't think. And then basically somebody else said, oh shit, all that's changing. All that shit's changing. Anybody drop shipping might get shut down. I'm like, shit. So I just didn't do anything with it.
Like I said, people have been saying that, and anyone that's even going to watch this video will probably say that same concept.
Yeah, but that's a good point. You say, hey, shit, dude, they've been saying that. You know what? In 1999, they said the world was going to end. They've been saying that forever.
Yeah, and
same shit.
Was it the swan flu? Was it the swan flu that was? Yeah, that
dude.
How massively this is going to end everything, and here we are now. We're still around, right? Like it didn't get that big to the point where it wiped out half the population.
Well, again, like I mean, California's going to fall off into the ocean.
That's why I'm staying on the East Coast.
Yeah. Well, New York's going to get hit by a huge tidal wave.
All right. Well, I'm moving to Thailand.
They've been saying it forever. Thailand's going to get one of those where the water comes back and then what's that called?
Tsunami.
Yeah, tsunami.
And but yeah, like I said, people have been saying all this for a long time, and I personally think yes, like any platform, whether it's Shopify, eBay, Amazon, Etsy, whatever it is, you just have to adapt. And if you don't adapt, the people who don't adapt, they get washed away.
That's right.
And every time any kind of business, if you decide that you want to quit every time you stub your toe because your business decides it needs to make a change, you're not going to make it big in anything you do. Because any kind of business is going to involve some type of change at some point where you have to change how you operate and do business. There was a point where it was in 2015 or 16 where I was using PayPal a lot for, payments and stuff like that for when I was coaching. PayPal held $60,000 of my money for 180 days. Now, that forced the way that I had to change and how to have to do business. I was stressed out. I was like, oh my God, they're holding, crap load of money right now, and don't have a bank card. Now I have no way to pay for anything, even though I have the money right there. 6 months, they held my money. And I was frustrated. But it caused me to change and do business differently where I could have just thrown in the towel. But that's just in anything that you do. If you can't adapt, then you're not mentally strong to be able to stick it out. Yeah,
well, that's a fact. They say the species that survives is the one that adapts best.
You have to.
It's not the smartest. It's not the toughest. It's the one that adapts.
If like I said, you have to adapt.
So at what point did you start making big money? Because you jumped in there and you started killing it. Then what?
What is identified as big money?
Well, I mean, dude, Rolls Royces aren't cheap.
No, it's not. That's
I mean, you're gonna have a pretty decent payment even if you financed it. So to have a Rolls Royce, you're doing decent. Yeah.
We've been
you ain't having a Rolls Royce on 10, 12 grand a month if you're living.
Oh no.
In a house and paying taxes.
I bought the Rolls Royce about almost a year ago, but I just wrote a check for the whole thing because I didn't want the payment or the interest on it. Because
so you save money well.
You save. I could do better sometimes, but I looked at the fact that this is almost a $500,000, Rolls, and 6 to 7% interest on a car like that would jack me up another $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. So to save money, I just had to pay cash. I had it, and I believe in that saying: if you can't afford to buy it twice, you can't afford it. I could afford to buy it more than once, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy it. But successfully, I've been doing well for probably about 2.5, 3 years, on the next level. And even at this point, I realized to myself that 1, I can't do this by myself. That's why I have a team, and 2, I'm not shit. I'm really not shit. Yes, a lot of people look at what I've accomplished and what I have, and that's great, but I still have a long way to go. This is just the tip of the iceberg for me. I'll be 33 in August, and I have bigger goals than what I've already accomplished, and I have a lot of work that needs to be done. And I mean, like I said, the Amazon dropshipping was never to be, when I first started, like, oh yes, this is going to be a 20, 30-year thing. I didn't think that far ahead. I saw it as a stepping stone to get to apartments, to get to other things that trying to do, and other incomes, because I solely believe that you should never depend on one source of income. Even Warren Buffett owns bobby pins, he owns MLM, he owns all this stuff. No successful entrepreneur just has one income. You can't depend on it, because if one fails, you don't have a backup, and then you start back at ground zero.
So that if that rolls, you paid cash for it. You realize though, every month it goes down in value.
So
your payment is depreciation.
I've realized that, and that's why I don't drive it as often. So I kind of keep it as not my daily. I have another car that is my daily.
But imagine if you did this, and again, this is only because you now understand the value of cash flow assets.
Of course.
If you would have took that $500K, for example, let's say you paid $500K,
432,
whatever.
Just
take that $500K and you go put it in a 10% annual. Okay, what are you making a year on $500K?
Is that
50K.
Yeah,
a year. So 10 years, that Rolls Royce is paid for it, right?
Just by sitting in the bank.
Yeah, and you still own the property, the value. It's still paying you the 50 grand a year. But in this way, in 10 years, that car will probably be worth nothing.
Yeah.
So that's what people don't understand. Now, again, I'm like you. I'll drive the nice shit and put the rest into real estate and shit. Like, I still want to live in case I die tomorrow.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I'm not going to live in a freaking cardboard house until I, screw all that shit, dude. I'm going to drive the cars, live in the houses, go on the trips, and invest the rest. Why? Well, shit, I might die tomorrow.
I always believe that, like there's a lot of people who do believe like you have to choose, like, oh, you have to choose love or money or this or that. It's like, you can do both. You don't have to choose. You know what I mean? Like, I truly believe you could do both. However, make sure that your priorities aren't just in the materialistic things, that whatever you're doing, you are setting yourself up for, your future kids. Because a lot of people are in a position that they're in is because their past self didn't really care enough about their future self.
Amen. Ain't that the truth? Dude, let me ask you, if the bomb squad's listening, I always try to bring them some knowledge or value of any kind. If the bomb squad's listening, how can Tommy Rodriguez help them? Give them one thing you would do different. Like, oh man, if I knew this, like me, I always say, if I knew better, I would have invested money more wisely.
Yeah. So from a knowledge standpoint, again, like I said, I started this stuff at 24 years old. Especially if your audience is 18, 19, they're the younger audience, or maybe some of them are. Start early, start now. Period. Yeah, at the end of the day, life is too short to just think, oh, I'll do it next week, I'll do it next year, I'll do it when I have more money. Like, figure it out, whether you got to have a lemonade stand, whether you got to sell plasma blood, whether you got to, it doesn't really matter. You could go on Craigslist on the free section and take some of that stuff, flip it and sell it on Facebook.
Have you ever had to sell plasma?
Back when I first started, yes. Twice a week you could do it, you make $30 to $35. It's not a lot of money, dude, but it's something.
Hey, and then when you got older, you'd go give blood to see if they'd take it. That was your STD test.
Yeah.
See, you couldn't afford to go to the doctor to get checked for STD, so what do? You just go donate blood. And if they're like, sorry, sir, we can't accept your blood, then you got to figure out.
Then
Yeah, then you better go to the doctor.
I think it's just wise that anyone that's listening to this is that always invest first. Again, you could splurge out, you can have the nice shit, but make sure that if your liquid is only $1 million, that you're not spending the majority of that on just toys. Shit that's not going to make you any real money.
What would you do if you only had $1 million?
If I only had, if I was to invest it, I would probably buy some condos and try to flip them.
But again, there's Bomb Squad listeners right now with $1 million probably, and then there's Bomb Squad listeners going, dude, listen to these guys talking about if you only have $1 million. Fuck, I only got $38, bro. What do I do?
If you only have $38, I truly believe, I don't obviously know everyone's situation, so I try to be sympathetic on some level, but people aren't lacking in money. They're never lacking in money. People are lacking ambition. Because you could sell water on the corner, go get a case of water, a cooler, You spent what, $5 to $7.
So you're always entrepreneurial.
You're
So
always,
be entrepreneurial.
Always thinking, man. Always thinking.
Dude, if somebody goes
step.
to TommyRodriguez.com, what's there?
That's,
I've been there, but I'm asking you.
we got to revamp it a little bit.
I just see it, and it's just like, well, dude, this guy's balling out of control. But like, are you're just teaching people how to build Amazon stores?
No, we create pretty much similar to property management. People pay property management because the landlord doesn't want to collect the rent. They don't want to deal with the tenants. They don't want to do anything. Mm-hmm. They want to sit back and get paid. And that's why when I explain my service, it sounds really foreign to some people, because my service is similar to property management, where people pay us to run the service. They use me and my team. Correct. They do some initial setup, and me and my team find the products, list the products, ship them out.
Piece.
Yep, and they have to pay.
Sliver. If someone's interested in doing that, where they go? TommyRodriguez.com?
They would go to TommyRodriguez.com, watch the video. We're actually going to be changing a few things on the website anyways. But they would check that out, and it's property management just to, Amazon storefront. That's all it is. So basically, we're not promising the world here with this service. We don't promise people are going to make $1 million tomorrow. It's a long-term passive income. We try to tell our clients at least 12 to 18 months.
Do you train them at all?
Who, the people that buy the service?
Yeah.
No, we don't currently train anybody, but we are trying to implement something where we have in a system where we have knowledge on what the team is doing.
What are you building for that? Just some video-based thing?
Videos that we're going to put together, because a lot of people might want to know what's going on with their store. How's the VAs doing?
You got to be pitched on Lightspeed then, because if you're going to be training people, all you need is a Lightspeed system.
I believe we had that conversation before.
Have we?
I believe so. Once.
When?
It was a couple months ago.
Not with me.
Yeah.
Then why wouldn't you do it?
Because we didn't get into full details.
Oh.
I said we were gonna do this, and then I said we were gonna talk about it.
All right. So all I know is, like, if I bought a store, I'd want to know some shit, and you'd have to tell me some shit. If you wanted me to be nice and comfortable.
Of course.
Now, if I wanted to opt into, like, even maybe a module that could teach me, how to go find products. Like, what are you doing for me? And like, you can equip me and my staff, where eventually I could be like, okay, thank you, and I can take it back over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'd pay for that. Why? Because, dude, eventually, don't people want to do it themselves?
A lot of people that buy it are investors, and the other people who have other things going on, so they don't have time. They just want ROI. Yeah, they just want to make that. So
so why don't you just open your own? Why do you have time to do other people's if you can have multiple ones?
I have 5.
Is that your max?
Well, that's currently what I have. I haven't opened up any more.
I know, but why would you open me one up and take 30% of it?
Well, my initial cost up front is the $25,000 that we charge for the storefront. So here's what I believe.
No, but that's one-time money. You don't want that.
It is. It's not passive, but
folks,
what I believe,
one-time money.
It's not a lot, but you can't build a personal brand if you don't put yourself out there. So when the audience or anybody that's watching my Instagram, my social media, they don't know what my stores are doing unless I show them. But even if I show them, they want to know how to get those results too. So you have to have some type of personal branding behind what you do, whether you're teaching or you run a service. It's like, again, it's the same concept with the property management. Why wouldn't that landlord just, save the money and not hire property management? Why wouldn't he collect the rent? Why wouldn't he deal with
it's not the same. It's not the same thing. Like, if I knew how to go fill these waters up and they produced seeds of money, I'd be too busy planting my own to worry about you guys wanting me to plant yours, and then I'll give you a piece and me a piece. Like, shit, I'd just be planting mine as many as I could.
That would be,
And when I got to a certain point, all I'd do is teach you. Why? Because that's just free money, and all I'm going to do is talk to you. And if you go do the work, so I'll just consult you.
And that's where we're going. We have a portal that we're coming out with. We have an office for phone support, so like our clients can call in if they have questions about their stores. We have email support and a bunch of other things. So we're trying to grow this into something way bigger than what it already is. Like I said, we think big, and we are at a level where we are getting a lot of clients, and we're growing. Getting the clients is the easy part. It's the scaling, it's the growing, it's the putting the systems in play and trying to make sure everything tries to go as smooth as possible for our clients. So for me, I also get joy out of this. It's not just the money aspect. Yeah, the $25K one time to deal with possible headaches and problems and putting a lot of that money back into the growth, the office, the laptops. That's great and all, but the joy that I get from people tagging me, messaging me, oh, hey, we made 5K this month, or we made 2K passively, or whatever. I get a lot of joy out of that, knowing that I'm doing something good for someone else. Because, I believe, who said it? Zig Ziglar. In order to get what you want, you have to help enough people get what they want. Right? That's
right.
So I truly believe that, and I love helping people. So it's much bigger than the money aspect.
Well,
But
dude, I wish you continued success, folks. If you guys want to find him, go to TommyRodriguez.com or Instagram. It's just at TRod.
at T, you said it right. Most people pronounce it Trod. So the fact that you said it correct, bomb.
There you go. Folks, go out and share this out. Maybe you don't want to freaking do anything on Amazon, but somebody you know does. Share it out. There's about 16 people that haven't heard this, and I'm looking for them. Till next time, keep it real.